This video will cover my entire history of making Lego trains. Everything I did when it comes to the train side of the Lego hobby has been documented and put onto YouTube. This video is part of a celebration as today marks 10 years of me being on YouTube, and looking back at my Lego train history is incredible and unique and simply amazing to behold. The story begins in May 2012, where the Emerald Champion was first built. A few years later, when it came to 2016, I named my Lego Railway the BGN Lego Railway, using the letters BGN. That came from an old video game username and is very much stuck in the past, and thank goodness I'm not using something as dorky as that today. After that point, my first wave of mocks was made, and some were adapted from sets and others were experimented upon when it came to June 2017. I was doing a lot of building and recording in June of 2017, with everything being uploaded in August. The giants of the Triton Lego Railway had arrived, and the summer of the QUADRAPLEX is one of the proudest and happiest times ever in my Lego train history. Without a doubt, it's one of the coolest things I've ever done. June 2018 saw the first great scrappening, as I like to call it, with a lot of models getting scrapped. Soon after that all happened, my first Thomas model was built. Other models since then have come and gone, and March 2019 saw the beginning of an entirely new exciting project. In March of 2019, I bought 7 of the same off-brand Lego compatible train station sets, with the plan to ultimately combine them into one large one. I had to get a lot more parts, of course, and it was improved over time, but this was the first time ever where I had a centerpiece for my layouts. I didn't have any kind of layouts at the time either, but this was the first thing I had when it comes to having some kind of station or otherwise main central structure. In November of 2019, I saw the jump to make real-life locomotives, in contrast to all of the custom designs I made in the past and kind of religiously stuck to. I was always so hesitant to go for real-life details, but at this point I went for it, and at the time, the 6-wide models were beautiful. Going into 2020, I also made another leap to go one stud wider. And what came from that, and even from that moment onwards, it would change my build style forever. January 23rd, 2020 was the day I showed my very first 7-wide Lego train. At the time, it was my favourite locomotive, the LUKR P2. My second 7-wider was shown the next day, which was Tornado. The bigger size and the better accuracy had me in awe, and I knew I could never go back to 6-wide. The TLR class of custom locomotives were also uploaded after the 7-wide models, but I knew with going 7-wide, these custom models will ultimately be scrapped. I then uploaded my third 7-wide video in February of 2020, which was my W1, the Hush Hush. And at that time, and for a very long time, it was the only Lego W1 ever seen or featured online anywhere. February 2020 also saw the first play around with narrow gauge models. New track pieces were ordered and matching locos were made. Whilst at the moment I still haven't made anything fully dedicated for narrow gauge, February 2020 was the birth month for me going into an all-new gauge and all-new style of Lego trains. May the 5th, 2020 was an important day for me, as on that day I uploaded a video of my updated Thomas the Tank Engine model, covered and decorated with trimline tape. The decals were there and everything looked so much more accurate. It was such a massive game changer, and I loved how much more it became normalized when it came to using decals and trimline tape and other things that you could put onto your bricks to make a more detailed model. At the time, my then 7-wide locomotives were revisited and all had some trimline tape to them, with future 7-wide locomotives getting the same treatment. I will always remember the day of July 20th, 2020, for that was the day I officially became a member of the LUKR, now known as the LUKR. being able to chat with incredible LEGO train builders and learn and discover so many things was so joyous, and because of the members of that club, I still learn so many new things about building LEGO trains and the train side of the LEGO hobby as a whole. Later on, I would then join my local LEGO user group in February of 2021. And because of joining that group, I was able to go to shows and display my layout, and I have so many exciting memories with this group. There is no doubt in my mind or anywhere else that the TLR layout was and still is the biggest project I have ever undertaken, LEGO or otherwise. Our calendar is now set 2021 and the world rejoiced. The layout began with the rebuild of my main station. Then there was a signal box, then there was a bridge, then there was a goods yard, then there was a shed, and everything in time was expanded upon and upgraded. Then at last a full layout was complete, and the full layout came together to be about 17 feet by 11 feet. And was fully constructed for the very first time at the Galleries LEGO show in August of 2021. Having built a model of Thomas, and having that Thomas model be around for quite a while, April 2021 saw the arrival of other primary characters from SODOR. Gordon, Edward, James and Henry were all built with lining and faces, and all of the focus in the world was put into those models. These models turned out to be some of my very best LEGO trains as a whole, and that's only pushed for more SODOR trains to be built and put into my railway. Now, whilst I never really say this, I do want to make it known that my model of Henry is still one of my genuinely all-time favourite LEGO train builds, Thomas character or otherwise. Just the overall shape of Henry looks beautiful. I would love to give that model another go at 8 studs wide with slightly larger drive wheels, because I reckon I can make something absolutely stunning. I'll say this now, displaying at a LEGO show is a lot of fun, and it really is as fun as you think. I have been to many LEGO shows as a fan and as a spectator. June 5th and 6th of 2021 was a game-changing weekend for me, because that was the first time I was on the other side of the table displaying LEGO. It was the Avon Valley LEGO show, and it was absolutely spectacular. So much fun, and it was a weekend I very much look back on fondly. August 21st and 22nd of that year, 2021, was my second LEGO show, and this was the weekend where I got my full layout together for the very first time. Being able to talk to people about the train side of the LEGO hobby was so much fun, and seeing all the people behold and take in my layout because of its overall size and all of that interaction, it was such an incredible and unique experience. That was the time that I felt I really genuinely accomplished something big in my life. And so, what's next? There's always going to be more stuff to build and more stuff to achieve when it comes to LEGO trains and my layout. My layout is still going under reconstruction. There's always more stuff to be adding and changing. But overall, I feel very complete when it comes to making LEGO trains. There isn't that much I really want to make anymore, and this is another period where every now and then where LEGO train building kind of just slows down. It would never come to a complete halt because I do still have a lot of stuff I want to do, but I need a bit more of a push before I can get started with them. The Triton LEGO Railway will always be busy. There is always so much to do and build, and I'm looking forward to the day where the next massive project comes along, because that's going to be a very fun time. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all ever so much for watching my content. Today does mark 10 years of me being on YouTube. I did YouTube properly, in quotation marks, a few years ago when I started posting my 6 wide or 7 wide models. So to say that I've gotten 3,500 subscribers over 10 years isn't necessarily accurate, but then again, looking back in the past, I did still give it a go, and it was still just some kid in his bedroom having a grand old time showing his creations with the world. I'm still doing that today, and people commenting saying that they love what I do and they want to see more is the best thing ever. It really, really is. Thank you all ever so much for watching. Be sure to keep an eye out on the community tab for polls and updates. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you all in the next episode.